Good morning, everybody. I'm Bryce, Turf Program Director here at Real Turf Solutions. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about soil quality and why that's important in the landscape. Soil quality is very important in the landscape because soil quality allows that plant material to mediate the process of biological, chemical, or physical to be able to break down and use those nutrients in the soil to not only live but also grow healthy and thrive. Soil quality can be easily measured by kind of the way your plant materials react to it. You can easily dig down with a shovel and grab your soil and kind of tell your characteristics of the soil to kind of understand if you got soil quality, how your soil quality is. There's basically three types of soil. You got clay soil, silt soil, and sandy soil. And so the easy way to understand how those soils work is if you dig down and you grab some soil and it's not really wet, you want to take a little bit of water, and if you can ball that stuff up really easily, then of course you've got clay soil. If you can easily ball it, but it kind of somewhat falls apart, then you kind of got some silty soil. If it doesn't bind together at all, then typically that's sandy soil. And so those three soils can be kind of a mixture down in the ground, but if you have more of one or the other, typically it allows for either good things or bad things. So of course, if you've got clay soil and it binds easily together, that means that a lot of times you're going to have a really wet area in the yard, really wet area in the garden, really area somewhere else in the yard. And so those properties are not really great for plant health, because what happens is those properties hold too much moisture, which then can cause fungal issues down the road, or even very relatively quickly, depending on the amount of rain or how much irrigation you run. Now, if you've got silt soil, those are really the perfect soil for growing anything, whether it be turf grass or plant material. Those soils allow it to hold a little bit of that moisture and nutrients, but not too much to where it overpowers the plant material. So if you've got that plant material, that soil material, then obviously you probably notice how your area looks, because most of your plants are healthy, your grass is healthy, and you don't have a lot of issues of, whether it be fungal or any other kind of disease issues. And secondly, you've got sandy soil. Sandy soil is kind of easily kind of understanding. It's almost kind of like being at the beach. We all know how on the beach, when you grab a handful of sand and it's kind of wet, it kind of just falls apart, and you can't never really make a good ball out of that. That sand there, sandy soil, is really not a great soil for any kind of plant material, whether it be grass or it be shrubs in the flower beds. That sand does not hold hardly any moisture or nutrients. It allows it to pass through fairly quickly, so therefore the plant's not able to process that material it needs to grow healthy. So there's other ways to determine your soil quality. You can also do a soil test. That could easily be done by somebody such as Real Turf Solutions, or maybe somebody else you have doing your weed control fertilization program. Or you can actually do it yourself by contacting your county extension agency, and they'll be glad to walk you through the steps of how that process works. Typically what you do is you dig down and you grab about the top 6 inches of soil, and you do that a couple times around different areas of the yard or your garden space or wherever you're pulling the soil sample from. And then you can take it down to your county extension agent. They'll bag it up and they'll send it off. And then basically what that does is that it kind of gives you a good idea of what kind of nutrients you may have in the soil at this time, what it may not have in the soil at this time, and it also kind of gives you an idea of what kind of soil you do have. From there, you can kind of start working on things and ideas of how to improve that soil quality. So you can easily improve your soil quality, especially if you have sandy soil, by easily top dressing. Top dressing with some good organic matter is perfect for that, because what you're able to do then is slowly blend some extra more silt soil into that ground, which then can help improve the nutrients quality and also help that plant material thrive even further. But you always want to make sure you are understanding of what you have before you're doing so, because the biggest thing a lot of times folks do is they go out and they just start putting out sand or put out dirt, and then you kind of realize, oh, maybe I didn't have that or didn't need that. And so you always want to make sure you understand that. Kind of like our Tuesday tip video we did not too long ago about fertilizing. You always want to make sure you understand what that fertilizing bag says and properly how to put that down before you go out and just start doing those things. You can also do other things such as like aerating. Aerating is very vital this time every year, especially more so in some lawns than others, but we always recommend it, because one thing about aeration is it allows you to kind of punch those holes, allow that oxygen and moisture to kind of reach that root layer, which then kind of allows that root layer to expand and grow even further, in which when you have healthy roots, when you dig down and look at a plant, or you look down and you pull some turf up, if it's very fibrous, that means that plant material is very healthy, because it is allowing itself to pull nutrients from very different parts of the soil. If you dig down and find that root source and that plant source of the grass and it's not very fibrous, then typically there's a compaction issue or there's not a whole lot of nutrients, and so that soil is actually found one little small area that it's able to pull from, which in return only allows it to be as healthy as it can be based on just that quality. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Soil qualities are very hard to kind of understand, but easily can be identified just based on walking out in the yard and telling how well the surface of plants look. I mean, is there any kind of yellowing on the leaves of plant material? Does the grass always seem like that it doesn't really grow as healthy as you'd like it to be? Is that tree you planted 3 or 4 years ago just not quite as tall as you think it should be by now? Those are really kind of physical indicators that allow you to understand that your soil quality is probably not quite that great, and at that point then you can contact us or contact your local extension agency and start making those improvements to figure out what process needs to be done to go through that. So if you have any questions more further about soil quality and kind of how those things work, or if we could help you out further with that process, just feel free to give us a call at 478-988-0043. And as always, we appreciate you and thank you for watching.